So guys, here we are, MMA UK News. Obviously myself, Stoomboy as always, MMA UK BJJ show. So talking about grappling, jiu-jitsu. It's going to be Evolution of Combat 11. It's going to be this Saturday, the 19th of February. Now, it's going to be at Maryhill Community Halls. There's no tickets available, so stop messaging Dan Hope. He doesn't have any left. If you want to watch the event, it's going to be on pay-per-view. So go onto the Evolution of Combat page. Get yourself over to Live MMA, £9.99 for the pay-per-view. It's going to be a fantastic event. Obviously, starting the event off, as we usually do, with some grappling, moving into kickboxing, Muay Thai, and then rounding the night off with MMA, which is going to be headlined by Sean Clancy Jr. and Aaron Leo. Now, it's an absolutely stacked card. I mean, we've got some top guys on it across all martial arts. So, obviously, the grappling side, we're going to have Ash Williams, we're going to have Shawnee Stewart, going to have John Malfin, and going to have my next guest on, Kevin McAloon of SBG Moray. Now, Kevin, the King of the North, is currently I don't know whether it's the interim champ or the champ, but he's definitely the champion going into this one on Saturday night. So, Kevin, listen, absolute pleasure as always to speak to you, buddy.
Good to hear from you again, Stoom. Good to chat to you.
Definitely. No, it's always a pleasure. I always love chatting with you. I know we've chatted loads of times. So you're definitely a regular. But that's because, I mean, you're always out there. You're always putting yourself out there, whether it be Evolution of Combat or Grapple Fest and things like that. So it's good that you're out there. You're representing Scotland, representing SBG Moray.
Yeah, I love to do what I do. Love to compete regularly. So, yeah, it's good to get back out. It's only February, so the last time I competed was December. So I'm excited to kind of get back going and get in against a good level of opponent. That's the kind of opponent I want to face this year regularly. So good start, strong start, Welsh black belt from a good team.
Yeah,
that's exactly what I want. So that's can't ask for a better start.
Yeah, definitely a good guy. I mean, not just a good grappler, but obviously as a person as well. I mean, I got to obviously speak to John recently, and absolutely awesome guy. A lot of the stuff he's doing, obviously he's in the Royal Air Force, but obviously doing things like obviously the ambassador for Reorg and really representing them. So not just a good grappler, but a really, really good guy outside of the mats as well.
Yeah. Sounds like a nice guy. I've already known him through some of the guys in my team training for the RAF BJJ, and they were aware of him because of the things he set up through there, gone away on trips with him and stuff like that. So, heard he's a nice guy, and that's cool. Like most grapplers are. The same as my last opponent, Magnus. He's a stand-up guy as well. So it's all good fun and games, and then we've just got to do what we do against each other. So, we can be friends afterwards, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We can be friendly rivals for a little while and be friends afterwards, see what happens.
Definitely. And you find that as well. I mean, the higher up the belts you get, the people become nicer and nicer. It tends to be just white belts and blue belts that are assholes.
No, I think, to be honest, if you've spent long enough to start to get around to brown belt and black belt and that, you should definitely weed out sort of any nasty people. I would think, hopefully, but yeah, you know what I mean. If you're doing this and we're all kind of similarly doing the same thing, we're all on kind of mirrored journeys. Try to improve ourselves, but then represent our teams, represent what we stand for and our values and things like that. So those things is, you have to respect people for that. Especially people coming from all sorts of different backgrounds. We've all got the same love for jiu-jitsu. So you got to respect people for that, and especially a black belt that's deserving of respect. That's the ultimate goal for many of us, and to also continue to fly the flag for what he believes in. That's an awesome thing too, So loads of good guys, and I'm fortunate as well to have met so many cool people through jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, definitely. And then what about you then, training wise? So obviously 2022 is officially going to be our year. Obviously in the last 2 years, our training's been it's been on, it's been off, and then we've also had competitions. There's been none, and now that 2022, we're going to have a full card of competitions. So, how's everything going with your training then at the moment?
Yeah, good. Back to full training, back to busy classes, busy mats, people on the mat, getting training in with my coaches, getting in training with people on the same pathway as me, So that's it's good. That's what you want, Like definitely, it was a little bit disjointed last year, but especially this time last year, nobody knew what was going to happen, and it all kind of kicked off in the second half of the year. But already, like this year, especially for Scotland, so good. Like, just shout out Cogsy for getting double bronze at the Euros.
Definitely.
I think it's Jan from CVA. I think his dad maybe got a medal or something like that. Like, one of those guys got a medal at the Euros. So shout out to the guys doing good at the Euros. So it's already starting to kick off. I think it'll be an awesome year for Scottish Jiu-Jitsu, especially. Like,
yeah, a couple of guys up north as well got medals. Big Greg, the Polish guy out of got a silver medal.
Yeah. Oh, awesome. Well done him, man. Like, well done him. Doing
and then,
if you go to the Euros and medal, that's fantastic. Like, that's awesome.
Yeah. That's what I say. Any medal at the Euros is a good medal. It's a hard-fought, earned medal because, I mean, you know your divisions in the Euros are fucking 20, 30, 40, 50 deep. So any medal at the Euros is always a great medal. So well done to the guys in Scotland.
I love it. Cogsy posted his thing. He posted, it was something like 2018 out round 1, 2018 out round 2, 2019 out round 1. And then 2022, like, got onto the podiums. You know what I mean? I think they're just the cut of the draw and stuff like that. Getting onto the podium, you chop up that bracket. It might end up different every time. So like getting on, and I'd love to do that too. That's my goal for 2022. Like, when the Europeans come round, no-gi. Obviously, I had some no-gi focuses just now. So I wouldn't be doing the gi Euros. I will be mixing it up in the gi competition as well this year, but hopefully doing a lot of no gi competitions and traveling around and stuff like that. I'm looking forward to doing that stuff.
Nah, we're buzzing to see you out there again, 2022. I know 2021 coming up to the end. Once we started competing again, and once we started getting back into it, you went out there and, as you said, you were Grapple Fest, Evolution of Combat, and you were putting yourself out there against top guys, and you were beating them. So we're buzzing to see what 2022 is going to bring for you, Kevin. So,
if you've got a ticket, you can see that on Saturday. If not, watch the live stream.
Yes.
Yeah, awesome. Like, that's it. We're streaming. It's so cool, from what Scottish Jiu-Jitsu started as. Now things are getting live streamed. Guys like Ash Williams and things like that, they're coming up to be part of the shows in Scotland. It's getting live streamed. Full house tickets for usually people are begging, come get tickets at the door. Tickets still available. Sold out shows. Like guys like Shawnee and Ash, awesome match. Myself and John, that's going to be good. And plus it's getting live streamed as well. So things are really coming on. Maybe if you'd said that, this time last year or 2 years ago or something like that, maybe it'd be a little bit difficult to believe, but it's in a good place.
Yeah, definitely. And then what about Evolution of Combat then? So obviously we knew you were going to be on again because obviously you're interim champ, or you're the champion just now. So so obviously Evolution of Combat, how did this one come about for you then, Kevin?
Just obviously the relationship with Dan, the promoter, and also I'll just give fair credit to Evolution of Combat. Those guys through the pandemic offered me an opportunity to grapple. They didn't have to do that. They stuck their necks out, secret location shows, things like that. They stuck their necks out for me. So I had to say no to Dan in November. I'd been asked to do Grapple Fest, so I'd done Grapple Fest, and so this time round, Dan got in touch with me early January and said, look, he's got an opponent for me. How'd I fancy matching up with John Malfin for, the title? So title defense, title. So I was like, yeah, titles and that don't really matter. I just want that. I just want the names. I want to keep climbing. I want to keep climbing the levels against black belts and things like that. So
Yeah.
that's my goal. So when Dan offers good, he's offered me good challenges every time, So I think it's about 4 times I've been on EOC now. So yeah, I'm gonna enjoy this one. So every
Yeah.
single time the level's gone up and up and up. And the EOC guys have been good at putting on pro grappling shows, like fantastic grappling shows. So
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
one will be well worth a watch as well, I'm sure.
It will be. I mean, it's a fantastic card. Obviously, the grappling, as we mentioned, obviously, Shawnee Stewart, Ash Williams, obviously yourself and John, Davey Nash against Philip Tam.
Yeah,
Awesome grapplers. Do you know what I
Fraser
mean?
as well is on there, I think. Yeah.
Fraser Hurst and Lee Emsley, yeah. So you've got 8 fantastic grapplers that are going to come and put on a show. And then obviously adding in Muay Thai, you've got a Muay Thai fight, a kickboxing, and then obviously you've got the MMA rounding off with Sean Clancy Jr. and Aaron Leo. So it's a
Yeah,
fantastic event.
right. Yeah, that's a really good main event. You know what I mean? And I think what's really important to mention about things like that is, these guys are on the way up. Everyone on
Yeah.
these cards are on their way up, right? So this is your chance to see them and support them while they still fight in
Yeah.
Glasgow, not far away from their home, because
Yeah.
as they build their way up, they go on to the shows that are more expensive to go and see, that are further afield. You don't get to go and see them. So, and
Yeah.
when these people break through and stuff like that, you can say, I went, you know what, and I bought a ticket from him and I supported him and I was part of that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And same with you look at the guys like Stevie Ray and stuff like that. Like flying the flag for Scotland. You could
Yeah.
only watch him on the UFC, but
Yeah.
when he was fighting locally, yeah, got to be buying tickets for guys like that. So Sean Clancy's smashing it as well. So I'm sure he'll do pretty good.
Yeah. Nah, we're looking forward to it. It's going to be a great night of it. Evolution of Combat's always a great night, so make sure you get them pay-per-views, guys. So Kevin, obviously main focus then this Saturday, Evolution of Combat 11. What's your plans? I know you mentioned obviously you're looking at gi comps and stuff like that, but anything in the pipeline for you that you could talk about that's coming up in the near future?
I mean, so probably the next thing after this is going to be, coaching my team. That's important too. Not only just myself, putting time back into the guys in the team, because we've got some cool competitors coming through. So I think a few of them are going to be having their first sort of competition on the 5th of March. And yeah, so I'm just looking forward to seeing what comes up. I would like to kind of try branch out of Scotland a bit, maybe over to Ireland, England, and Wales for some competitions and things like that. So do some things with the team too, and yeah, we'll kind of map it out, see how it goes from there. Stay busy, as you say, with things like this as well. Opportunities can kind of just pop up. Someone just messaged you and said, "Would you like to compete on the show?" So just keep yourself open for those opportunities. Keep doing what I love. Keep training.
Yeah.
I'm always training regardless. I don't just train for matches or anything like that. So I'm always training anyway. And keep the ball rolling. Keep the momentum going.
Definitely. And then what about you then? So final thing, we've probably thanked everybody in Scotland, Kevin, at some point. So, but anybody you want to shout out to? So friends, family members, teammates, sponsors, anything like that.
Oh, I'll have to shout out my girlfriend Kirsten, because she's always putting up with me when I'm on a diet and stuff like that. More than that, we're going to Rome after, so I'm going to enjoy some good time there. Definitely, because we're always going through weather warnings to fights and things like that. So that's nice. She supports me doing that. And yeah, thank you to my sponsors, to Tammy Fightwear, everyone at SBG Moray, coaches, training partner. There's a lot of people there. A lot to name, you know who you are. And just thanks for EOC and having me on, and yourself, Stoom, for always chatting to me and for promoting the guys like you do. It's a good thing to have someone shouting you out. Grapplers are not always the best at promoting themselves. So it's awesome to have somebody doing that for us, you know.
Yeah, no, listen, I absolutely love it, as you know. Do you know what I mean? I'll talk to everybody. I think we did, we looked at it this morning. I think there was 22 fighters on Evolution of Combat, and we've managed to speak to 16 of them. So, so it's awesome.
That's all out of your time, you know what I mean? Like, that's fantastic that you do that and you promote these guys. Like I said, get people used to chatting and stuff like that. So that's awesome.
Some of them are still shy, Kevin. Some of them there's a few shy guys out there.
What's got to be, you know, nobody's. I think the problem is when people they don't say anything because they don't want to sound like an idiot. But in not saying anything, you sound like an idiot. So you just sit there and go, no, yes, I'm good. I don't want to sound like an idiot, but you ultimately sound like an idiot.
Yeah. Well, listen, I tell them, I say the same thing to everybody. I say, look, the reason I do it, and you know the reason I do it, I mean, it's to try and promote jiu-jitsu. Not just in Scotland, further afield and stuff like that, but it's also, as you mentioned there, it's trying to build a media profile, because obviously if guys want to go into shows like guys that maybe white belts or blue belts thinking, well, I want to go on Evolution of Combat, I want to go on Grapple Fest, my main goal is to get on Polaris. Do you know what I mean? What these big shows is they look at not just obviously maybe competition record, but they look at what's your social media like, what's this like. So, and obviously these videos will pop up and say, well, they've been interviewed before, they sound like a really nice guy, let's get them on the show. Do you know what I mean? So
it's all part and parcel, and a lot of people don't really want to kind of take that on. It might not be that natural to them or whatever, but it's anyone who's fighting now needs to be able to do an interview. Long gone are the days where you could just show up and fight. So you've got to build it. It's just a natural thing. You've got to build, got to be building people who are interested in seeing you do what you do, come and represent your brand. All right.
Definitely. But listen, Kevin, always a pleasure to talk to you. So so guys, this Saturday, Evolution of Combat, so it's tomorrow night. The doors, I believe, open around about 4:30, 5 o'clock. First fight is 5 o'clock, 5:30. It's going to be the David Nash, Philip Tam grappling match starting the night off. So we're looking forward to seeing, obviously, that matchup. Make sure you're in the doors early and get your seats, because it is a sold-out crowd. As I say, people will be sitting everywhere. There's no seat allocation at Maryhill, so make sure you've got yourself a really, really good seat. Pay-per-view, Evolution of Combat Facebook page, takes you to live MMA, $9.99, as I say, for an absolute top-class night of combat sports. So we're going to celebrate combat sports now that 2022 is here. So going to have Kevin McAloon, the King of the North, up against John Malfin. Is it Malfin or Malfin? I'm sure it's Malfin.
Well, I'm sure
but up against John Malfin of Drake. So obviously coming up with Ashley Williams. So we're going to see this tomorrow. So Kevin, listen, always a pleasure, buddy. Always a great chance to speak to you.
All right, I'll speak to you after the fight for our post-fight interviews with the belt, yeah?
Nice one, brother. All right, take it easy, buddy. Bye.